It's still the breakfast in PlusTvAfrica, and thanks for staying with us. We just quickly delve into the issue of Rivers United that has emerged as the only MPFL champions and are now the only Nigerian team left in the CAF competition. That's the Confederation Cup from four that started. We have Monday Thomas joining us this morning. Monday Thomas, it's good to have you join us.
Good morning, Mercy. It's another Friday for us to get into the world of sports. You know, it's an exciting world of sports, and it's also very exciting to know that this season's or next season's CAF competitions, we'll get to see a Nigerian team. Unlike last season, it was quite shameful that in the CAF Confederations Cup and as well as the CAF Champions League, no Nigerian representative. So Rivers United, I think they're still worthy NPFL champions. And they had to just be the only Nigerian team in the CAF competitions, going through to the rounds of the group stages of the CAF Confederations Cup. It's a great, but I think it goes to show that Nigerian football is not exportable. If I'm to use that particular line, it's not exportable because when you see them in the continent, they get to play very well here. Plateau United, before heading to the continent, were full with so much bragging right. Fidelis Ilechukwu was so confident that he will be able to get the win or draw against the Al Qaeda of Libya. But what happened? It was a shocking display by Plateau United. I mean, it's okay for Al Qaeda to score, but what is not okay is for you not to be able to score them, because Al Qaeda came to Abuja against Plateau United and they were able to get a vital away goal. What is the problem? Why can't you get that away goal as well? This is always the problem of Nigerians, especially when they take on North African counterparts. And I think we have to say that they've got the best club football, the northern side of Africa, be it Libya, be it Morocco, and as well as Egypt and Tunisia. But Rivers United, I am very proud of them for defending not just the NPFL, but defending the whole country.
Monday, should we, can we sing maybe the song as they paying them? It go they sweet us, as they sweet us. He go they.
No, I mean, it's a win-win question. It's not painting any.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm asking this, because you know when Eyimba International Football Club were doing well at the time, it was down to the commitment of the then governor Orji Uzor Kalu of Abia State, and even after Kalu left, his work still remained through the man who he supported, Felix Anyansiago, who is still there and has dragged the team on to this point. Is the governor of River State to take any commendation, any glory for what Rivers United has achieved so far?
Yes, fantastic governor. I tell you, sport-loving governor. I mean, he's ready to not just splash in the cash, but not make it audio. I mean, when he says he's going to drop the money, he certainly does so before it runs out of time. Before the next big game, he has to make sure he fulfills his previous promise so that the boys can be motivated. I think Nyesom Wike, His Excellency, is a fantastic governor when it comes to football, when it comes to supporting football, not just at the international stage, but at the grassroots. He promised them a whole lot of money, but I'm pretty sure the boys let him down because there were still lots of money waiting for them if they were able to age past Wider Athletic, which for me it was a very difficult opponent. If they made it to the CAF Champions League, it's not just about what Africa will give them, but Nyesom Wike had something in store for them, but they couldn't just, of course, play up to that position where they can obtain that favor from Nyesom Wike. He's always able, he's always ready to, of course, support good football. And Rivers United, being that they are winning it for the NPFL for the first time since moving from Dolphins to now merging Dolphins and Shark, now becoming Rivers United. So the man was able to, or was ready to sponsor them to any height they wanted to by supporting them in cash incentive and also making sure they get their bonuses at the right time. So I think for me, 100% Nyesom Wike should be commended for the brilliance of Rivers United in the continent.
Well, let's talk about the Queens now. We remember that in 2021, its edition, the Nigerian team, Rivers Angels, actually faced the South Africans in group stage, and that might just be a reputation. Looking at, the performance, they've been very outstanding. I'm talking about the South African counterparts now. Do you think that these ladies actually stand a chance?
Mamelodi Sundowns, now we know them, they call their men's team the Brazilian, and the women's team, if I call them the Brazilians as well, I wouldn't be wrong because they play quality football. And when you talk Mamelodi Sundowns, you get to talk about the organization, the structure, the well-prepared grounds for South African football to thrive. They've got great sponsorship, they've got great branding, and no wonder their football is always better than us when it comes to club football. Without a doubt, we're still giant of Africa when it comes to national football in comparison to all the African countries like South Africa. But when it comes to club football, I don't think any Nigerian team can stand a chance with either the men or the women's team. But I think Bayelsa Queens did greatly in the first match against Mamelodi Sundowns. For me, they had no chance. They had absolutely no chance against Mamelodi Sundowns. And the scoreline was very respectable, losing by 2-0. And Bayelsa Queens still went ahead to beat their two opponents to, of course, qualify for the semi-finals, beating Wadi Dedla of Egypt and also beating TP Mazembe, who for me, they're also a top team as far as African football is concerned, but you can't say the same for their women's team. Bayelsa Queens playing in the third place, and that's going to be tomorrow. They did greatly, but I'll still stand on my words that they stood no chance against Mamelodi Sundowns. There were chances that they could have taken Mamelodi Sundowns again in the final if they were able to beat Asfar of Morocco in the semi-finals. And I'm sorry to say, if Mamelodi Sundowns had met with the Bayelsa Queens in the finals, that would have been another end of the story, because I think Bayelsa Queens, Mamelodi Sundowns would once again edge them. But we need to congratulate Bayelsa Queens once again, another club in Nigeria, putting Nigeria in the African continent, in the map. I know Nigeria is in the continent, but when it comes to football, sometimes we tend to shy away from the continent. But Bayelsa Queens have been able to do so. This is the second edition of the CAF Champions League, and this is the first time a Nigerian team made it to the semi-finals, and this is the first time a Nigerian team could win the bronze medal game, which is tomorrow by 8 p.m. as they will be taking on Simba Queens of Tanzania.
So what do you expect to see as the results of this competition at the end of the day, the winner?
At the end of the day, I mean, as for Queens, as for ladies of Morocco taking on Mamelodi Sundowns in the finals, the as for ladies are actually the club from the hosting ground. Morocco are the host of this Nations Cup, and for some time now in Africa, Morocco has simply been a hub for women's football. And here is the second edition of the CAF Women's Champions League going to Morocco. So with the home support, with the home fans chanting and supporting the Asphalt ladies, I don't think that will help them. Mamelodi Sundowns, just like I said, they've got structure. The ladies, they play like the Brazilians. So I'm seeing Mamelodi Sundowns winning it for the second consecutive time.
All right, interesting. As for Queens, peeping Bayelsa Queens to set up a final date with Mamelodi Sundowns. I think we can also, Mercy, remember we sat here on this studio to talk to Monday about the Women's African Championship, where the Moroccans, huffed and puffed and were able to use home advantage to, to beat the Super Falcons.
Kofi, I'm sorry to cutting you in, but I want Mercy to give me my props. Mercy, you can't run away from this. Remember what I told you about the under-17? You should give me my props.
Oh well. We probably hope that I'm not saying that we're not very
couldn't
excited.
Forget it, could he?
I'm not saying that we're. We both had the conversation, but I'm not saying that we're not excited that the girls actually put out their performance right there. But of course, coming out with the bronze, it's quite commendable. Looking at the performance, I give it to these girls. They made us very proud. I personally followed, the match to the letter, and it was quite impressive. But we could have done better. But I think that it was perfect and fantastic, and that's me giving it to you.
You're sounding like a politician. Did you say props or crocs? I need to be sure. Because
It's actually an American slang.
Because if it's Crocs, I'll get it and I'll use it here. I thought I hate Crocs, you know.
No, but I give it to you. The girls were really outstanding, and credit to the coach as well. You talked about him. You were very positive about the coach, and I mean, he proved himself. The girls were really great, but like I mentioned, we probably would have done better. I'm sure we wouldn't have gotten to a point where we had a penalty every other time. If we had gotten the goals into the net, we probably wouldn't be talking about the penalty. But, you know, I'm still very proud of those girls, and we can only do better.
Yes, indeed. My favorite female team, Monday Thomas, my favorite female team is what do you call these girls in Calabar again?
Oh no, don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Don't do that to
Monday,
me.
remind me of the team in Calabar. The female
Pelican
team.
Stars.
Pelican Stars. What's happening to Pelicans? That's all I want to know.
Are you even talking about, because Kofi, Monday Thomas, I don't think we want to talk about this. We probably would need to set another time, because if you talk about the Pelican Stars, then you want to talk about, you know, what's going on with the stars, all of the stars in Cross River State. I remember once upon a time, there was a game that was played sometime this year, or probably last year, at the stadium, the Agege Stadium, where I witnessed, you know, they call them the Ayade Boys or something like that. But of course, they lost it out. See, we need to leave another time to talk about this. Kofi, I really don't know where Kofi is going, but Monday Thomas, thank you so much for being part of the show. We have to go now.
Let us not forget, it's 9 days to go to the World Cup. I mean, the most talked about World Cup controversially, and we just hope that we get to see Qatar host the world in a very conducive way. Thank you so much for having me. It's always great.
Monday, I know you've been looking at the list of countries that were released very quickly. Any disappointment for you? I mean, outside of injuries, any disappointment for you so far?
Injuries. We need to talk about injury. We cannot leave injury aside. First of all, the timing of the World Cup is the worst in the history of timing. I tell you for certain. And for English squad, they're gonna flop again. I don't like this squad. I mean, I like it that Saka is right there. I'm very sure Kofi, you like it that Saka is the star boy right there. But when it comes to not picking some players like Fikayo Tomori in place of Harry Maguire. Mercy, Harry Maguire, please tell Kofi who Harry Maguire is. Then maybe he will know why I am.
All right. So that's a major disappointment for you. We have to go Monday. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sure next week we'll have more time to look at when more countries announce their lists.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, that's the size of it. It's been a fantastic Friday morning, and thanks to our guests for being part of the show and making it big for us. And thank you as well for watching. We hope you had a great time. We will definitely return on Monday, all things being equal. Right? If you missed out on any part of the conversation, it will be all right to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You also have to subscribe to our YouTube channels at PlusTvAfrica and PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle. My name is Messi Bokbo. We will join the newsroom at 9 o'clock for the news brief.
And my name is Kofi Bartels. Thank you very much for your time. Have a fantastic weekend.